A canvas of turmoil during Istanbul Biennial, nitimes.com. Subscribe, digital/home delivery. Log in. Register now. Help. Homepage. Today's paper. Video. Most popular. Edition, US/global. Search all nitimes.com. Art design. World. US. NY/region. Business. Technology. Science. Health. Sports. Opinion. Arts, art, design, books, dance, movies, music, television, theater, video, games, events. Style. Travel. Jobs. Real estate. Autos. A canvas of turmoil during Istanbul Biennial. Daniel Eder for the New York Times. A biennial moves indoors. The Istanbul Biennial, which organizers had hoped to install in public spaces, opens to the public in indoor spaces on Saturday. By Rachel Donadio. Published, September 13, 2013. Istanbul. Back in January, Fulya Yardımcı, the curator of this year's Istanbul Biennial, decided to focus the exhibition on art in public spaces. The city was booming, but at what cost, and for whose benefit? It had become the central question there. Ms. Yardımcı wanted artists to engage with the issue, and citizens to engage with public art. Connect with us on Twitter. Follow @NetTimesArts for arts and entertainment news. Arts Twitter list, critics, reporters and editors. The sortable calendar of noteworthy cultural events in the New York region, selected by Times critics. Go to event listings. Enlarge this image. Daniel Eder for the New York Times. This staircase has been repainted in colorful stripes after people were upset when the city covered the unapproved colors in dull gray. During the winter, organizers of the biennial, which opens to the public on Saturday, began applying for permits to install works around the city and in buildings slated for demolition. Then in May, Gezi Park, a once-G area near the city's central Taksim Square, erupted, as Turks of all backgrounds took to the streets in a wide-ranging protest set off by anger at how the government was developing the city without the consent or participation of residents. Riots broke out, police tear gas flowed and the biennial was forced to move inside. The organizers are trying to cast that change in a positive light. When Gezi happened, we were so excited, Ms. Yardımcı said last week as she stood at a biennial site in a former industrial warehouse in front of an installation by the Mexican artist Jorge Mendez Blake, a long brick wall with a copy of Kafka's novel The Castle tucked underneath. The demonstrations, she said, asked the same question she had hoped would be raised in the biennial: if it's possible to have multiple publics come together, live together, act together. Now in its 13th edition, this year's Istanbul Biennial, which runs through October 20th, is called Mom, Am I a Barbarian? Taking its title from a book by the Turkish poet Lale Mulder. It fills 5 venues in Istanbul's bustling downtown, bringing together 88 artists from around the world. 15 of them are Turkish, others are from Latin America, the Middle East, Europe, Asia and North Africa. Last week, as visitors arrived, the largest demonstrations since June erupted in Istanbul. More demonstrations are planned for this weekend, and the crisis in Syria has led to an influx of refugees to Turkey and has put the government even more on edge. Given the volatile climate, the city did not grant the art fair permission to show works in public areas, out of fear of protests. This decision meant that many artists had to rethink their contributions or produce works that commented on the dynamics of public space, rather than actually use public space. One project that was unthinkable after the Gezi uprising was by Eric and Ronald Rietveld, brothers who form the Dutch collective Rietveld Landscape. They initially proposed an installation in which thousands of tiny lights would flicker like fireflies on the facade of the Ataturk Cultural Center, a landmark in the center of Taksim Square. But after the building became festooned with protest banners during the Gezi Park demonstrations, biennial organizers never got the response from the Turkish Culture Ministry about their request, Ms. Yardımcı said. The ministry did not respond to requests for comment. Instead, the brothers' installation, Intensive Care, features a small dark room in which lights play against a tiny scale model of the building. After spending a month last winter in the city, Eric Rietveld said he could sense the tension building. There was a frustration, people were so worried about the possibilities of exposing themselves, he said. Perhaps the most telling biennial exhibition space is a nearly unmarked store,